Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Zeelicious cooking series. Now, like the title of this video suggests, I'm about to show you my top 10 favorite kitchen hacks, which you can also call tips and tricks. So these kitchen hacks are my top 10 favorite kitchen hacks, and they always literally come in handy all the time. So the first hack has to do with peppers, most especially the Scotch bonnet peppers, also known as atarodo. Now, I've seen a lot of people chop their Scotch bonnet peppers with a knife and a fork just because they do not want to get the Scotch bonnet peppers on their hands so that they don't have the peppery sensation.
I'm one of them.
Cheetos is one of them. But you can get yourself hurt by doing that, and there's a very simple way to actually chop your Scotch bonnet peppers without getting it on your hands, and I'm going to show you how. Now, all you need is a very sharp knife and a chopping board. So what I'm going to do is take about 4 to 5 pieces of Scotch bonnet peppers, or you can take as much as you can control, and just place it on my chopping board like so. And then afterwards, I'll take my knife, I'll hold it firmly by the handle of the knife, and then I'll place it on top of the peppers like this. Place the other hand or the other palm right on top of the, I can't remember what this is called, but just right on top of the knife like so. And just place it like that, and then you just go. Can you see what I'm doing? Just cut it in big bits first, so that it will make the chopping process a lot easier. As you chop, you bring it in together, just like so. And then when you have chopped it in big bits, then you can go in a motion like this. Remember, as you chop, you bring it in. And then just keep chopping. You can go as fast or slow as you want. It just depends on you. You can see what I'm doing. As you chop, you bring it together. Okay, so guys, as you can see, we have perfectly chopped Scotch bonnet peppers, and I didn't even have to touch it with my hands. So get rid of the fork, and don't get rid of the knife though, because you still need it to chop. Just throw away the fork and use this method. I promise you, no pepper sensation will get on your hands. So my second tip is still on peppers. Now, if peradventure you're working with the peppers and then you wash it and somehow the pepper sensation gets on your hands, all you have to do is just take 1 tablespoon of salt and scrub your hands generously with the salt. Just scrub for about 10 seconds. Then afterwards, you go rinse under the tap, and then you just wash off with some hand wash liquid or soap or whatever it is you have, and then rinse again, and then clean it up with a paper towel or a hand towel. And I tell you that there will be no pepper sensation on your hands. It's a promise. This is tried and tested, and it has never failed. So my third tip is going to be about bread. Now, I have observed that a lot of people like to store their bread loaves in the refrigerator. Now, so I know that sometimes the bread loaves can be too much for you to finish at once, and then you would have to preserve it. But do not preserve your bread loaves or your bread slices in the refrigerator. That way they become really stale fast and they dry out really quickly. The best way to preserve your bread loaves or bread slices is in a dark and in a cool place. It will stay fresher for a long period of time. Now, what I like to do is I put my bread into a bread container like this. I'm going to put a link in the description of where I got this container. And I just assemble it gently like that into the container. So I'll just lay it nicely in my bread container like so. And I cover it and I place it on my countertop, and it stays fresh for as long as a week or even more sometimes. I've observed it. Now, if you don't have a bread container like this, what you can do is just tie the bread and just put it inside your microwave. The microwave is really dark and it's really cool. Not when it's on though. It has to be off and really cool before you put the bread in there. That way the bread is going to stay fresh for a long period of time. Try it and see, and say that Winnie told you so. So my fourth tip is going to be about tomato paste, also known as tin tomatoes. Now, most times a recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of tomato paste or 2 tablespoons. And sometimes you buy the really big tin, and when you take out the 1 or 2 tablespoons, you're left with a whole lot of tomato paste. Now, what I find is that people store their tomato paste in the tin and put it in the refrigerator. Now, what this does, if you've observed, is that after a couple of hours or days, your tomato paste starts to turn black in color. Now, what happens is that when the tin is opened, there's a reaction between air and the tin that makes the tomato paste become black and very inedible. Now, it's totally poisonous at that state. So my tip is, whenever you are done with the amount of tomato paste you want and you notice that you have a whole lot of tomato paste left, what you do is take it out from the tin and place it in a little Tupperware like so, or a Ziploc bag, that's the freezer bags, and put it in the freezer. It will stay fresh for as long as 3 months. Now, notice I said freezer. Do not put it in the refrigerator. The refrigerator, if you put it there, it won't stay fresh for up to 2 days. You will notice that it will start to develop mucor right on top of it like so, which also makes it poisonous. So the best way to preserve it is in the freezer. And whenever you want to use your tomato paste, all you have to do is bring it out about 30 minutes before you have to cook and allow it to thaw on its own, and you would always have fresh tomato paste to work with. So my fifth tip is on recycling your spice containers or jars or food containers and stuff. For example, this is a sherry bottle and I realized that it is expired, but I do not want to throw away the bottle. I want to use it for something else. And a beautiful and easy way to transform it is just take away the content from the bottle, discard it, throw it away. And then this label looks pretty ugly. And what I'm going to do is just soak it in water for about 4 to 5 minutes. This will help soften the paper and get it off easily. After soaking it for about 4 to 5 minutes, what you do is you take a sponge. Now, I have 2 different types of sponge here. I have the iron one, and then I have this paper one that is a little bit hard. So I'm going to go in with this one first. And if this cannot remove the paper, I would go in with the iron sponge. So all you do is just scrub it. Put some pressure. You see that the paper is already going off. Just put a lot of pressure on it like so to take away the label. And afterwards, you just wash the jar. You can wash with some soap and water. So after cleaning the jar, you just allow it to air dry, or you can use a paper towel to just clean it out. And you have a clean jar that you can use to store whatever it is you want. In fact, I'm going to go ahead right now and store some peppers that has been lying fallow in my fridge, and voila, I have an extra container for my chili pepper. I can just label it, put chili pepper in it, and just put it in my pantry, and whenever I want chili pepper, I just bring this out. And then this is also a ketchup jar that I washed earlier to take away the wrapper. And then right now I can use this to as a batter control. Whenever I'm making my pancakes, I'll just put the batter in here, and I'm able to control the way I pour the pancake batter into the pan. It comes out really beautifully well. Or you can use this to store your vegetable oil and stuff. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button just right below and the notification bell beside it so that you can get instantly notified whenever I upload a new video. If you have any other tips and tricks or kitchen hacks that you want to share with me, kindly leave me a comment in the comment section below. I love to read your comments and I love to hear from you. I will see you again in another episode. Until then, remember to be very kind to one another and love yourselves generously. Happy holidays, guys!